the way the world is moving right now, we need to be very careful about what we put into our mouth as food. I'm saying this because in this 21st century that we are, technology is far advanced, and if care is not taken, you will not be able to differentiate what is organic food and what is fake food. Quite recently, there is a very advanced technology where some people were seen manufacturing rice, and what makes the manufacturing of this rice worrisome is that the people were using rubber to manufacture this rice, and those who are very smart will be able to differentiate between the rubber rice from the original rice. But who knows, majority might not be able to determine, and at the end of the day they will eat this rice in their stomach, then it's going to cause a lot of sicknesses to them. That is why I'm saying that as we are in Africa right now, we need to be very careful about what we consume in the market, despite the fact that our agencies and our Food and Drugs Board are trying their best in order to ban fake items on the market, but they cannot be able to identify the millions of goods that find itself in the African market. So we as individuals or as citizens should take our own security in our hands so that our safety will be guaranteed. So in this particular video that we'll be watching, it is going to give us a very big highlight on what to do in order to stay longer on this earth. In the European countries and the Asian countries, the systems are already working. So it will be very difficult for people to send fake items into those countries. If the moment they attempt doing that, the system will catch up with them, and at the end of the day, they'll be found wanting. So it is only in Africa that those guys can bring those fake items, and they do not care what is going to happen to their citizens. Once they are making their money, they are good to go. So guys, let's be very careful about the things we consume, because what we consume today will determine whether we are going to stay longer on this earth or we are going to go before our time. So guys, if you notice something of late, if you go to the hospital, you can get people as young as 25 years, 30 years who are having kidney failures. And all this is not because they were careless in their life or they were not thinking outside the box, but sometimes it is because of the system that is not working that has made them to be found wanting in this way. So that is why I'm saying that we should take our security in our own hands, and this particular video is going to help us in what to do in order to stay longer on this earth. And if you look at way back in the 80s or in the 90s, you realize that there are certain sicknesses that we are experiencing now that weren't there at that time. Those days, hardly would you get somebody complaining about kidney failure, or you get somebody complaining about high blood pressure. This is because during those periods, they really eat organic food and they drink water that is directly from the well. So all these things are very fresh. So our forefathers or those people back then used to stay very longer as compared to today. So guys, let's be very careful about the food that we eat. And if you are not very observant, you realize that certain things that we eat right now, you may see it to be less harmful simply because it's being advertised on televisions and it's being advertised on social media, and people are eating them. It looks as if it is very normal for everybody to eat. But this video is going to let us understand that there are a lot of basic things that we are eating right now which is sending us to our early grave and we do not know. So guys, let's take this video very serious and let's watch it from the beginning to the end, simply because it's going to open our eyes to a lot of things that we take for granted or we are taking for granted, which is drawing us gradually to our grave. So guys, let's be very careful and let's watch this video so that we'll be updated on what to eat and what to avoid. And guys, if you also watch this video and you find it educative, kindly hit the like button so that YouTube can recommend it to other people who will also benefit from it. And guys, without wasting my time, let's go straight into the video.
This morning, I got the devastating news of my cousin sister's death. But before this time, they sent me a message telling me that she was admitted in a hospital. I asked, why was she admitted in the hospital? They said she was suffering from kidney failure. Well, this morning, my telephone rang. It was my kid sister online. So she told me that my cousin sister had lost the battle. She has died. So, as we discussed, my sister, who called me on phone, said she does not understand why many young men and women are dying of kidney failures in Africa. She said that where she is presently living, a boy of 10 years is down with kidney failure. Well, I said, obviously, these kidney failures or liver failures people are suffering from is as a result of the junk food they are eating. Yes. When I took my time to make researches, somebody sent me a video of somebody sent me a video, and in that video they explained the kind of food that causes this kidney failure. And as you may know, many of these countries in Africa, their governments don't control the food they import into the country. Like here in Austria, any food you import into this country is properly controlled to make sure you don't bring junk. You don't feed the citizens with junk. But in Africa, it is a different story. Bring the food, feed the masses, whatever, make your money and go. So, like I said earlier, in one of my videos, I said, listen, some of these countries, like, I don't want to call their names, some of these Asian countries, they don't care about you. They are after making money. So they are ready to poison you, give you junk food, eat and die. They make their money. I found out that they don't even eat the food they bring into your country. I've seen so many young men and women who died of kidney failures. People don't ask questions. Why are young people dying of kidney failures? Well, like you may know, longevity depends on your lifestyle. Also, the kind of food you eat. So I took my time to look into why people are dying of kidney failures or suffering kidney failures. Now, don't forget or don't fail to share this broadcast, because by doing so, you are saving lives. What to avoid? I think the food you should not eat, number one, is noodles. They call it Indomie. In Africa, growing up, I did not see it with my eyes. We never ate it. We ate organic food. My parents grew our own food, the food we ate. You see, these people, this Indomie, the people that are manufacturing it, they don't eat it. Even, they said, where they are manufacturing that Indomie, they wear masks in order not to breathe in the air in that room or wherever in that company. Avoid this food. Don't eat it anymore. If you want, you believe me. If you don't want, you leave it. Another one is ice fish and frozen chicken. You see, when someone dies, as soon as that person is taken to the mortuary, the corpse will be embalmed. The chemical they use in embalming human body, that is the corpse, is the same chemical they use in embalming that ice fish and that frozen chicken you eat. Have you seen the kind of chemical you put into your body? I've even seen videos where they inject all this chicken, this frozen chicken. Yes, they inject them to be big, to swell up. And these are the things you put into your body. Avoid these things. Growing up, while we were growing up, each time my parents wanted to eat chicken, we go catch live chicken slaughter it and cook it. We ate it fresh. I did not see frozen chicken growing up until I traveled to Europe. So avoid this frozen chicken. Another thing to avoid, another food to avoid is tin tomatoes. In fact, that thing, the content, that thing inside you call tomato is not actually tomato. They bring in many chemicals. So you are poisoning yourself buying tin tomatoes. In fact, anything, tin or canned food, avoid it. If you want to cook, if you want to eat, or if you want to cook with tomatoes, go to the market and buy fresh tomatoes, so as to be sure of what you are eating. Go buy fresh tomatoes in the markets and cook. Another thing to avoid is Maggi cubes. See, don't add all these Maggi cubes in the soup you cook or in the food you eat. Growing up, my mother used ogiri. So, in fact, if you look back, you discover that my father's generation and the generations before them, they lived 100 years, 110, 115 years, because they grew their own food. They ate natural food and they lived long. Growing up in Africa, I never saw pizza before. Never. When I came to Europe, that was my first time of seeing pizza. Pizza wasn't even in our whole state. We read it in books. But today, people go eat pizza, people go eat shawarma, you eat pasta. These things, avoid it if you want to live long. I'm not here to scare you. You see, we should learn to grow our own food. Eat organic food. Eat your natural food if you don't want to die young. I'm telling you the truth. That is why sometimes, I do create awareness on this page. I tell people, I advise Africans, stick to your own. Be original. That your food, that's your native food, that food you grow by yourself is more healthy than these foods they import from abroad.